We will talk Cowboys, and we will get into the championship games as well here throughout the show, including a little bit here now. But let's discuss. This is a big deal in college football. Jim Knowles, Ohio State's mastermind for their defense, 3 years there. It looked like he had turned down the opportunity at Penn State, thought that was a done deal. Over the weekend that started to simmer, and now official, he in fact does get, according to Brett McMurphy, a 3-year, $9 million plus deal to go now play or coach the Nittany Lions defense.
Yeah, it's Oklahoma was kind of counting on this happening. They were hoping, I know a lot of their fans were, well, he's going to Penn State. He's from Philadelphia. He's a Pennsylvania native. And James Franklin, I guess, he's copying the Ryan Day playbook. I wonder how many people remember how bad the Ohio State defense was before Jim Knowles got there. They were leaky as a sieve, and he certainly tightened them up, and they've now won the national championship. So James Franklin taking a page out of that playbook. Although defense wasn't his problem, he just keeps losing elite defensive coordinators. He lost Manny Diaz, he lost Tom Allen, and now he has to go and get Jim Knowles, and they're paying Jim Knowles a bunch of money, so whoever wants to get him is going to have to beat $3.1 million a year. And I know Oklahoma fans felt the sting of that today because I think they thought that was going to happen.
Yeah, I think Oklahoma had pinned a lot of hopes to Jim Knowles being the next defensive guy there in Norman, and this is a big swing and a miss. I mean, based on the reactions and the reporting that I had seen, this was a guy they were heavily targeting, heavily wanting, and we're hoping they were going to land, and I guess it depended on where you looked on what the percentages of that actually were. But there's no, we didn't want him anyways today in Norman, Oklahoma. Like, there's none of that when you lose a commit. We didn't really want that guy. No, they wanted Jim Knowles based on everything that I had seen. So, that's a big miss by the Sooners, who were looking to bring in a big-time defensive mind to pair with the one they've got there at head coach and try to get this thing on track in year 2 of the SEC. But instead they'll keep looking, and instead he's staying in the Big Ten and giving quite a big shockwave and a big early punch landed by Penn State here in this college football offseason, letting you know that the Nittany Lions are about that business, and they made the playoff and they smelt and felt what that tasted like, and then they saw Ohio State go and take the whole cake, and now they want it too. And they're going to, obviously, based on moves like this, go after it this offseason. So there's an early team to watch for Oklahoma. That's a blow. And then, for Oklahoma State, just interesting that the guy that was there, DC there for a while and left a few years ago, is, now such a big name. So there is that tie-in back around. But no, they didn't necessarily like losing him a couple years back. But obviously he went off and had some great success at Ohio State, so we'll see if he can do the same in Happy Valley.
You hear about whether you're committed or not. Penn State was in the semifinals, a really good team, and they're absolutely, okay, if we need to improve, then where do we go? Find somebody that will make us even better, a guy that just won a ring. And hasn't always started well where Jim Knowles has been. It's taken time. I saw a couple of notes from even some football analysts that usually his first year's defense is okay, not bad, but then the second year they always seem to, according to the stats, be much, much better. And then, of course, Ohio State celebrated their national championship that occurred 1 week from tonight, 1 week ago tonight. by the win and the win against Notre Dame. And so they do that. Knowles was not there because he was trying to decide what he wanted to do.
They told him not to be there because he was deciding what he wanted to do. So they told him, based on what I'd read, not to be there because there was obviously the likelihood that he was going to be leaving. So I guess it's to not distract or whatever, just to get his decision out there. They went ahead and celebrated without him. I don't think it probably changed much. 30,000 plus people were there in Columbus yesterday to celebrate that national title. So they still had, plenty to be happy about. And, we'll see what ends up happening as far as the domino effect of that goes. But, it's a really big swing and contact by Penn State, who was knocking on the door just a few weeks ago. So interested to see how they continue to try to ramp up the momentum and carry this thing over the finish line. There for a staff who's obviously had a lot of question marks with James Franklin, but they're putting their money where their mouth is.
Well, it's the Big Ten with, of course, the last two national champions. You better keep up with the Joneses, so to speak, whether it's with your wallet and or also with talent and those who will coach the talent.